Light and peace, brothers and sisters. Our topic of discussion today is reincarnation. For over 2 years now, I've been wanting to do the topic about reincarnation, but for some strange reason, things just keep on coming up, and I just couldn't get my hands on it. And I was just inspired to do it finally. I guess I needed more inspiration and some type of spiritual support, because reincarnation is a complicated topic to talk about, because the entire Africa and people that live in India are infested and polluted with the ideology and the concept of reincarnation. And religion people also believe in it, but not a lot of religion people do believe in it, because the information about reincarnation is not in their holy scriptures. It's not in their holy book. So but you know, in India you've got reincarnation all over, and if you go to the YouTube channels nowadays, you see a lot of people in reincarnation, and they show people that actually believe they live 1,000 years. My question is this though: if this child or this person believed to have lived 1,000 years ago, and actually has the memory of what this person, what life the person lived 1,000 years ago, how come this person doesn't even remember what happened to he or she when she was 2 years old or even 1 year old? So common sense tells you when this person was born, that person should remember what happened to he or she when she was a child. You can't remember what happened to you when you were 5 years old, 2 years old, 1 year old, 3 years old, 6 or even 6 years old. But you remember what happened to you at 1,000 when you were 1,000 years ago. You see, the concept is ridiculous. But OahspeC shows us how this reincarnation came about. It's a teaching from the lower graded angels. Again, it comes from falsehood teaching, and these are spirits who have refused to leave our world. They've not graduated out of our planet, and those are the ones that come back and teach us reincarnation. And I'm going to ask this: if you're 2 years, when you were 2 years old, do you remember what happened to you? So how come people remember things that happened to them 1,000 years ago? You see that? That's nonsense. But OahspeC shows you it's actually spirits who are doing this, or they inspire you. You know, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos. I've seen people who say they once believed they lived before in our planet, you know, but those are all stories, and they come from low graded angels. Angels inspire you to believe that. And when we go to OahspeC for a minute, you're going to see without a shadow of doubt that these are actually, you know, spirits of the dead that refuse to leave, and they mount on you, they engraft themselves on you, and they attach themselves to you, and they inspire you with this information. You see, you know, and you know, the reincarnation is there's a lot of the stories in India, and especially even in Africa. West Africans believe in it too. So I'm gonna go to OahspeC for a minute, so we could talk about this reincarnation. Just to be clear, the creator does not teach reincarnation. It's the low graded angels, spirits who have not learned anything, who are dumb. So spirits who are dumb, you know, they're graded 0. They know nothing. Those are the ones that teach reincarnation. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to go to the book of Jehovah, chapter 6, verse 21. And let's see what the creator says about reincarnation. And then from there we go to the we decode it, showing you how this came about. Book of Jehovah, chapter 6, verse 21. Verse 21. As I have quickened the seed of the firstborn, so will I quicken all seed to the end of the earth. And each and every man child and woman child born into life will I quicken with a new spirit, which shall proceed out of me at the time of conception. Here it is. Neither will I give any spirit. You see, The Creator here did not say some spirit or all spirit or few spirit. It says, neither will I give any spirit of the higher or lower heaven power to enter a womb or a fetus of a womb and be born again. You see that? So the Creator here in the book of Jehovah, chapter 6, verse 21, is saying clearly, without sugarcoating, without beating around the bush, that neither will I give any spirit of the higher or lower heaven power to enter a womb or be born again. You see? And you've got stories about reincarnation all over the world. And people believe in that concept. That's bondage. And the reason they bound your soul is because since you believe in reincarnation, you're going to enter the heaven of those who believe in that and who came up with that belief system. So, you know, the way it works is if an angel has a belief system of reincarnation and they teach you and you believe in it, so when you die, you're going to enter that person's heaven because you believe in reincarnation while alive. You see, that's how it works. That's exactly how it works. The next chapter will be the book of Sentences, chapter 8, verse 9. The book of Sentences, chapter 8, verse 9. Jehovah says, I have provided all the living with certain paths to travel in, but man alone I created new out of all things dead and dissolved, and he shall grow forever. To the beast I gave already created sense, so-called instincts. To man I allotted angels, and even these angels I have provided with others above them, and yet others above them forever and forever. Thus the first of man, the newborn baby, I created a blank in sense. Now let's pause for a minute. So if someone tells you they believe they once lived 1,000 years ago, this verse is telling you that the baby was created blank in sense and judgment. So how could you remember what happened to you 1,000 years ago or 5,000 years ago when you don't even remember what happened to you when you're 2 years old, when you're 1 year old? Let me continue. So that it may be a witness that even he himself was fashioned and created anew by my hand, nor did I create him imperfectly. You see that? That he should re-enter a womb and be born again. That which is done is well done. The Creator is saying here in the book of Sentences, chapter 8, verse 9, that what he created was done well, and he has not given anybody the power to re-enter a womb and be born again. You see that? So the Creator here is clear. So the previous chapter and this chapter here clearly states that the Creator did not provide or did not give the reincarnation philosophy. So in the upcoming chapter now, we're going to see how this came about, who introduced this. You see? So brothers and sisters, here we have it. The Creator didn't create reincarnation, but the next chapter, the very first one, is the book of God's Word, chapter 30, verse 18 to 19. The book of God's Word, chapter 30, verse 18 to 19. This year was Zarathustra, who was explaining things, and you're gonna hear what Zarathustra says in this year, because Zarathustra was leaning onto something here. So let's read verse 18. The book of God's Word, chapter 30, verse 18 to 19. See to it that you do not become involved by dreamers, for spirit can assume any name and form. Weigh their words, whether they are wise, according to the Ohspean law. If they do not teach higher heavens, but profess a long life, you hear that? But profess a long life in the lower heavens, consider them by their words. To flatter you, they will profess to remember you in another life. You see that? They're telling you, this verse here is telling you to weigh their message, because Judas, spirit of darkness, are the ones that teach reincarnation, and they'll tell you that they remember you in another life, and to please you, they say you were king. And I've heard this, you know, in fact, I've had a psychic, even a prophet, tell me I was a king in my former life. Nonsense. You see that? Now listen to this. It says to flatter you. See, the spirits, the Judas, the spirits of darkness, low-graded angels are flattering you. That they will profess to you that they remembered you in another life. And to please you, they will say you were a king and add many successions of lives on earth. Verse 19. Now listen to this. Of what value under the sun is such philosophy? This is Zarathustra saying, of what value is this philosophy? Instead to rise up. In other words, I lived in this world, and a man lived in this world, and then when a man died, instead of the person to rise up, the man comes back to our world. It makes no sense. You should be progressing. You should leave. Once you leave our world, why do you come back? And a perfect example is this. I'm going to give the example for a minute. Before I do that, let me just finish this verse. Of what value under the sun is such philosophy? Instead to rise up away from the earth and from the lower heavens, also it was for bestowing this word upon men that I was sent into the world. It is to teach you to know the Father's upper heaven and the way to reach them, that his words were given to men. So this Zarathustra is talking that of what point is this? Now this is equivalent of you going to high school, and then after you finish grade 12, the teacher tells you you don't have to go to college anymore, that you should go back. So you should go repeat grade 9 and start from grade 9 back to grade 10, from grade 10 to 11, and then when you reach grade 12, they tell you to go back to grade 9 again and keep on repeating that grades. You see, what sense does that make? After grade 12, you should go to college or go to the university, because in college or university you have to spend 4 years, and then after spending 4 years, you have the opportunity, if you want, to go get a master's degree. So what point does it make for you to keep on repeating grades? See, that's what reincarnation means here. You see what I'm saying? What's the point? It makes no sense. It's pointless. The book of Leviticus, chapter 14, verse 12 to 13. The book of Leviticus, chapter 14, verse 12 to 13. Now, behold, there were millions of angels in those days who knew no other life but to continue to engrafting themselves on mortals. And one mortal died, they went and engrafted themselves on another. You see that? That's the secret. That's what the spirits do. When one mortal died, they go to another. You see, this is how they came up with this reincarnation thing. Verse 13. These were the fruits. You see, this is who introduced reincarnation. These were the fruit of the teaching of false gods. Fallen angels taught reincarnation. You see that? Verse 13 is telling you clearly these were the fruits of the teaching of the false god who had put away the all-highest Jehovah. You see, they said Jehovah don't exist, so they started teaching reincarnation. They could not be persuaded that Ethiopia was filled with inhabitable worlds. So in other words, what verse 13 is saying, that since that the false god do not believe that Ethiopia, the higher realms, the emancipated heaven existed, so they started teaching reincarnation. This is how reincarnation came about. Verse 13 tells you that they were the fruit of the teaching of false god. So what happens is when human die, they go to this fallen angel heaven and they teach them reincarnation. That's what it's saying. That's what verse 13 is saying. You know, why are you teaching me reincarnation? They teach them reincarnation because what happens, the false god don't even believe in Ethiopia. They don't believe the Ethiopian heaven exists, so they start teaching reincarnation. That's how reincarnation came about. Now, you see what I'm saying? This is how it came about. And you have a lot of this going on in Africa, in India. All parts of the world believe in reincarnation. The book of Leviticus, chapter 14, verse 9. The book of Leviticus, chapter 14, verse 9. Angels who engraft themselves onto mortals, becoming like a twined spirit to one component body, shall be known as reincarnated spirit. So here is Leviticus giving you a definition, identifying to you that if an angel engraft themselves, attach themselves to you, then they'll be called reincarnated spirit. So you have two spirits now, your spirit and a reincarnated spirit. But when such spirit upside the corporeal body as of an infant going up in the corporeal body and holding the native spirit in abeyance, such spirit shall be known as demon. See, that's how demon came about. That's the name of demon. Yeah, in the book of Liquor, they're telling you the difference between reincarnated spirit and a demon. See, demons are not the same thing with reincarnated spirit. And the perfect example is how Liquor explained it here. Liquor is a Nirvanian chief who ruled us once in our planet. So yeah, it's telling you how what reincarnated spirit is. That when the angel attach themselves into you, into your corporeal body, they shall be called reincarnated spirit. You see, that's how this is Liquor explaining reincarnated spirit here. You see what I'm saying? So now the book of Job, chapter 5, verse 10. The book of Job, chapter 5, verse 10. And as one spirit returned and fastened itself unto a mortar, so did another and another, till hundreds and thousands of spirits dwell in one corporeal body. You see that? One spirit returned from lower heaven now and engulfed themselves, attached themselves into a mortar. Up to 100, even up to 1,000 spirits can dwell in one corporeal body, often driving away the natural spirit that I gave at the time of conception. And these mortals did not know it. You see that? A lot of humans don't even know that there are spirits attached to them. And they become void of direct purpose because of the confusion of soul and were worthless on earth. You see, there's a lot of human beings that don't even know they have spirits attached to them. You see what I'm saying? This is sad. And this is reincarnation. These are teachings of the fallen angels. These are falsehood gods who are teaching this concept. You see, the book of Judgment, chapter 4, verse 11. The book of Judgment, chapter 4, verse 11. These are chapters. These are books in the OahspeCollegeUniversity that is showing you, without sugarcoating, what reincarnations is and who introduced and how the behavior of reincarnated spirits. You see that? Verse 11. But of those who are below grade 1, you see that? Those who are below grade 1, they are more than 6 billion, which compromises those angels who know nothing more than babes. Though, for the most part, they were full-grown adults as to earth life. Some are fetus, some engrafters who dwell with one mortal during his lifetime and then engraft themselves on another mortal during his lifetime, and so on, calling themselves reincarnated, and in fact knowing no other heavens, being disbelievers in all person in my exalted kingdom. You see, so spirits who are low graded, who are below grade 1, so are the ones who introduce reincarnation. And they're telling you that when that human, this reincarnated spirit, when they were once human, they actually lived a full-grown life on planet Earth. But when they died, they were on below grade 1, and they followed the concept of reincarnation. You see, this is sad, but this is how reincarnation came about. Low-graded angels are the ones who are teaching this concept. You see, the book of Liquor, chapter 14, verse 14 to 15. The book of Liquor, chapter 14, verse 14 to 15. And they profess that they have been reincarnated many times. You see that? And previously, let me go back for a minute. I just missed that chapter. I'm gonna skip that chapter. I just missed that. I just missed that. But that was an important chapter. But the book of Words, chapter 55, verse 11. Come, come, the Father's kingdom is free. Come, come, in peace and in quietness. You shall be your own master. Behold the Father's place. Rise higher and higher, not downward to the lower kingdoms. You see, not to earth, not to reincarnation, the inverted tale of Judas, but upward to wisdom, goodness, love, and happiness. You see, yeah, the Father's kingdom is free, and they are telling spirits, they are telling angels that they should go higher. In other words, they should rise from first resurrection, from first heaven to second heaven, and then from third heaven, from second heaven, rise to third heaven. Then after third heaven, now walk your way to ethereal. This is what this verse is saying. And it's saying, behold, the Father place rise higher and higher, not downward. You see, they're telling you that the Creator's plan is for you to rise out of this planet. You see that? And then go to first heaven, from first heaven to second heaven, from second heaven to third heaven. And then after third heaven, you rise to ethereal, to Nirvanian heaven. Not to go backward, you see, not downward to the lower kingdoms, not to our earth. You see, it's telling you not to come back, and not to reincarnation. Those are inverted tale of Judas. Judas, a spirit of darkness. This is what the book of Words, chapter 55, is telling us, that we shouldn't go backward, that those are information, those are philosophies of Judas, spirits of darkness, who are teaching it. You see, that's what this verse is saying, brothers and sisters. You know, reincarnation came about from low-graded angels, and it's time for us to get our mind and our soul away from reincarnation. If you believe in reincarnation, I'm telling you, your soul will be bound in heaven to anyone who introduced that concept to you while on earth. So when you go to heaven, you're going to go to the heavens that believe in reincarnation. And you could be stuck there for 1,000 years. You could be stuck there. You could remain there for 2,000 years. You see how it works? So reincarnation is a concept that was introduced by low-graded angels. And this is what OahspeCollegeUniversity is telling us clearly, without sugarcoating. Brothers and sisters, it is time for us to reprogram our mind, reprogram our brains, and start following the higher light. Start asking the Creator for the truth. Stop believing in nonsense. How could somebody believe in reincarnation? You believe that you once lived 1,000 years ago, but you can remember what happened to you when you were 2 years old. You don't remember what happened to you when you're 1 year old, 4 years old, but you could remember things that happened to you 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. You see, but the concept came from fallen angels, spirits of darkness, Judas, the Judean gods, the Aiden gods. Those are the ones that actually, the religion god, those are the ones that introduced reincarnation. And the amazing thing that I noticed was that the King James Bible don't even have reincarnation in there. The information was removed. You know, and if you've not watched my video on slaves in heaven, you should go watch it. I explain a lot there. And you know, if you believe in reincarnation, you'll be a slave in heaven, you know, without you even knowing. And you could be stuck in that heaven, that fallen angel heaven, for a long period of time. Brothers and sisters, subscribe to my YouTube video. If you've not got yourself a copy of OahspeCollegeUniversity, I'll encourage you to do so. OahspeCollegeUniversity has a lot of information. It's a spiritual book, and this book lifts you up from bondage. And one of the bondage we have is reincarnation, and OahspeCollegeUniversity tells you how reincarnation came about. Light and peace, brothers and sisters. Bye bye now.